going? My name is Becca. You guys, this is my very first YouTube video ever. I'm super excited to be here. Just need to make sure to hit record. It's recording. Okay, let's do this. So, okay. So let's do this, guys. How are we? Okay, so, I always start my eyeshadow with a primer. I prefer, this is by MAC. I have literally had this, probably almost 9-10 months now. This is soft ochre. It's called the Pro Longwear Paint Pot, and I'm still like haven't even hit pan on it yet. So this is my favorite. I always use a nude kind of paint thick, like a thick gel like this as my base on my lid. I do use my finger. You can use a brush. I actually like that my fingers warm it up a little, and I feel like it blends a bit better. So I use my fingers. I always wash my hands right before I do my makeup. So this is a good one. There's a couple other of the Pro Longwear Paint Pot colors that are great. This is just the one that works best for my skin tone. So that does leave a very tacky base to it. So what I will do, this is my contour kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm just going to take this banana powder, the middle one, and I'm just going to buff it all over. It just like that. That way the eyeshadow doesn't get stuck in the primer. It just helps things glide a lot easier, and that's how I like it. So, okay, so this is the Morphe palette with Jaclyn Hill. This comes out of her, it's called the Vault set of palettes. So there's 4 of them, and there's 10 colors in each. So this is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I love this palette for fall. I use this one a lot on St. Patrick's Day, and obviously these ones I'm going to be using for Pittsburgh because they're gold, so that's fun. Okay, so I'm going to grab, this is the JH30 brush from Morphe, also with Jaclyn Hill, and I'm going to just use the yellow, it's called Access, as a transition shade. So I'm basically just going to buff that right in the middle, so just above your crease. A transition shade is really, really important, and proper brushes are also extremely important. That is the main 2 things that I tell people all the time when they say that they need help. Okay, so that is a base transition shade. I like it. I'm just gonna go like this. Transition over. We're done. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep checking this stupid camera. So next I'm going in with the JH32. It's pretty much the same. So this is the one I was just using. That's what it looks like. This one is just a tiny bit more tapered and smaller. So as I work my way down through my lid, I'm gonna get smaller and smaller brushes because I want to be more precise. So I'm gonna go in with Agent. It's this kind of orangey, and I might grab a little bit of Secure as well. And I'm gonna go just a little bit below that transition color. And just windshield wiper motions. Back and forth. Really light hand. You can always put more on, but you can't take more off. So if you can see, so the orange is just a little bit lower than that yellow, and that yellow is going to act as our transition shade. It's starting out to look a little bit like I got punched in the eye. Don't worry, I did that on purpose. And I always like to just bring it a little bit, just start fluffing it towards my lower lash line, just to bring it all together. Okay. So now I'm going in with an even smaller tapered brush. This is the JH33. And I'm going to grab this Prowl mixed with this Smooth Criminal. I'm going to keep them in the brown family until I work the black in later. So again, I'm going to go kind of just under that brown area. Just to add a little bit of radiance there. I'm going to stick my dark colors more towards the outside of my eye. And when there's not much left on my brush, I'll slowly start bringing it in. And I'll just bring it over. I like to leave the lid almost always blank. I don't like to do too much on there because I'm just going to throw some glitter on it anyways. So again, sticking more towards the outside. Kind of just bring it a little, like almost like a little bit of a V. And then when there's nothing left on my brush, I'll start bringing it in. Okay, so next, you guys, this is the very first makeup palette I ever purchased. Like, that's insane. The fact that, like, I mean, I know they say makeup expires, and I totally respect the people that think that, but like, these still work. I'm not dead. I'm gonna keep using them. Okay? Okay. So as you can see, I've used them a lot. Right now, I use these two to fill in my brows. I don't use any sort of stick or pencil or anything. I literally just use eyeshadow. I find that I have the most control over it and it looks a little bit more natural. I'm not super into but I also I'm very blessed with my eyebrows. So I don't really need to fill a lot in. I mostly just need to color them, make them even, give them shape, that kind of thing. So back to the tutorial. I'm gonna grab this black because the Morphe Vault palettes, don't have a good black. Her first and second Morphe Jaclyn Hill palettes, like the actual 35s, which are 35 color Morphe palettes, there's a really good black in those ones, but I don't have those yet. So I have a little bit of black, and I'm just going to very light-handedly start darkening this corner up. Doesn't need to be much. And I don't want to completely go over where that brown is, because again, that's going to give that extra coarser dimension there. I'm just going to fill this in with a little bit of black, again, not hide it. And then when I have nothing left really on my brush, I'll bring it through. This is the only eye, by the way, that I can close. This one I can't do it, So yeah, I'd love to know if you guys like this hockey or sport themed makeup. I think it's a really cool idea. I'm a huge sports girl. I am born and raised in Calgary, like I said. But I have been a Pittsburgh fan pretty much since, I would say, 08, 09, right when they were going into their playoff run. I'm going to grab one of my other, this is the JH33, so this is the smallest taper blending brush, and I'm just going to grab just one of these kind of taupey shades right there, and I'm just going to blend this out some more with a clean brush. I just don't want to keep using that brush with the black on it. So I'm just going to kind of just mud those colors a bit more together without using too much, like I said, of that black, because that is going to bleed more than any other color into the others, and then that's no fun because it's too dark. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So it almost looks like a halo, if you can see. So it's almost like a little rainbow. So I am just going to take a little tiny bit more black and just even these out, because they're just a little bit, one side's just a little bit darker than the other, if you can see that. So I just took a little tiny bit and I'm just sweeping it right there, just ever so slightly, going back in with that bare brush and just evening it out. Okay, so like I said, I always like to leave the lid as blank as possible. So I'm going to grab this is a flat shadow brush. So if you can see, there's no umph to it. It's a flat shadow brush. This is the JH41. And I'm gonna go back into the Armed and Gorgeous palette, and I'm gonna grab Guilt Trip. It's the lightest of the golds. And I'm just gonna place this all over the lid. You will get some fallout from these if you are not into the fallout life. So what I will generally do is do my eye. If I'm doing a really, really glittery eye look like this, I will sometimes do my eyes first. Everything in me tells me not to, but I will sometimes. But I also don't get a ton of fallout with these products. That's why I like the Morphe, they're called like pressed shimmers. I really like them. They don't really fall out. However, there is a, so you can get like a glitter glue works well. You can get it at any drugstore. There are high-end ones you can get. I'm going in with Coin. That's the brighter of the gold. Okay, so I went in with Guilt Trip. It's kind of the more bronzy of the golds, and you saw me put that all over my lid, and then my camera died. So I went in, I'm just going in with coin, and I'm just going to not go completely over where I did Guilt Trip. This is just, again, doing the dimensions. I'm doing on the inside of the eye and the outside of the eye with the bright, bright gold. Can you guys see the cat in the background? Fucking animal. And then just on the outside of the eye and the inside of the eye. Okay, now I'm going to grab that fluffy brush again, and I'm just going to grab Access. That's the original yellow, and I'm just going to kind of buff all of that together so we have no harsh lines. Okay, so that is all buffed together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that same JH33 brush. This is the smallest tapered brush, and I'm going to go back in with the black, which I am getting from my Stila palette. So I'm just grabbing and it is on the tip of this brush, so you have to be very light-handed, and this is when you're really going to start deepening it up. So now that that gold base is down, this is where we deepen the smoky eye. And you're gonna see me go back and forth in between the glitters and the black a few times. And I'm just really light-handed. And I just like to blend them all together. And guys, that's pretty much the lid. So I'm going to start working on the under eye now. So for the under eye, I like to pretty much do the exact same thing that we just did, mirror it underneath. I'm not going to use as many of those bases that we did to start with on the lower lash line. I'm going to do the orange on the outside. So, and I do have some really good, so this is the JH43. It is a flat, just a flat, very thin shadow brush. So I'm going to grab this Smooth Criminal with Secure. I'm going to kind of mix the two together, and I'm going to keep it as close to my lash line as possible. I'm going to connect it to the upper shadows. And I'm just going to keep it as close to my lash line as possible and buff that out. I always tap out excess. And of course I make that stupid face that every freaking person makes when they do anything on their bottom lashes. So this is the brown and the orange kind of mixed together. And I'm really kind of bringing it down to smoke it out. Do you see that? Okay, now I'm going to go in with Prowl. That's the darkest brown that we used with that same flat shadow brush. And I'm going to put this even tighter right along that lash line. There. The very last step that I am going to do, which you do need to be careful for, is I am going to grab this black with that same shadow brush again, and I'm literally just going to do basically one little tick just right on the outskirts, just to bring the whole smoke show together. I wasn't calling me a smoke show, like, you know, it's the show, you know, it's why you're watching, isn't it? Or is it just because you know me and you love me and I appreciate it? So if you like this, subscribe and hit the notification button. Ew, just saying. Ew. I was just a YouTuber, you guys. Ew. Okay. So that's pretty much it, guys. I am digging it. It's pretty cool. I like it. Okay. So, just to kind of tie it all together, I am not the hugest fan of eyeshadows. So I'm going to go in. This is the MAC 208 brush. If you look at how tiny this thing is, guys, it is the most precise line brush that I use. I actually bought this with a gel black liner when I was really trying to convince myself that I liked eyeliner. This is what I used to use because it was so tiny. So all I'm gonna do is grab just a black eyeshadow, because this is what I do. And I'm just gonna buff this on the lash line, as close to the lash line as possible, just for a little bit more drama. I'm not the hugest fan of liner. I feel like it kind of hides all of the work I just did if you make it too thick. So this tends to be what I do. Just like that. Can you see the difference? Like, it's pretty small, the difference. Again, with the eye that I actually can close, makes it a little bit easier. So when I do the outside of the eye, I'll flip the brush this way and I'll bring it down like a wing. And then as soon as I start going along the line, I'll flip it the other way. So it's still kind of like a liner, but it's just not as drastic. You can still see the colors. And I will also take this. This is my biggest secret, you guys. Don't use pencil on your waterline. So I literally will just take a black eyeshadow. Take some getting used to. And that's it. Like that. I don't use any sort of like actual eyeliners at all. I am waiting for the magnetic lashes. I am going to try those, and I'm probably going to do them on camera. So I will let you know how I feel about that. So to bring this all together, I do this for every single makeup look I do. There is a skin colored color over here. It is called Bear. Wow, what a shocker. And I will just go right under my brow with this, and it'll just kind of mull out any of those other harsh lines. And I will also bring it down. Okay, and the last thing that we have to do before we do mascara is I'm going to take this little very tiny shadow brush, which is a smaller version of the JH41, and this is the JH42, so it's a really small, so like that's you can see the difference there. So this is basically what I use to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. So I'm going to take just a little bit of that and just right in the corners. And I will just kind of mull it out a little bit with my fingers. I don't want it to be too much, really. Do I even have a too much button? I don't think so. And I'm just gonna take that original brush that I used to put the powder on my, and I'm just gonna wipe away any fallout. Again, I would probably recommend doing your eyes first if you don't want a ton of this in on your face, but the fall is pretty reasonable. One thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back in with this coin here, and I'm just going to put this right in the center, right in between that highlight and that under eye smoke, just for a bit more pop of color. And guys, all we have left to do is mascara. So this mascara, I am obsessed with it. It's by Maybelline. It's called Snapscara, but if you look, it's actually the same color of my hair. So it's actually a purple mascara. And I'm really digging it. I've been using it for wow, could you be more Canadian? I've been using it for at least 2 or 3 months now, and I'm really, really enjoying it. But I'm really excited for these lashes to come in. But of course, I ordered a bunch of stuff right before COVID hit, you guys. And of course, like, Beverly Hills is pretty much freaking shut down, so can't really get much that way, but that's okay. Everybody needs to stay safe, and I can wait as long as I need to for my lashes, which I got on Moxie Lab. So I'm really excited about my Moxie lashes to come in. That should be really fun. Sorry, my camera died again. So just mascaring normally. I'm not huge on, I will use a toothpick on my lashes. I don't like very thick lashes. I don't like when they look too mascaraed up. I like them to look nice and natural, not chunky. So that's pretty much that. And you guys, this look is completed. I'm ready. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had an absolute blast doing this video. I'm really hoping that you guys learned something, or that you just want to make fun of me, or like whatever. I just want everybody to know I'm just really thinking of everybody. I hope everybody can stay safe right now. Stay home as much as you can. Obviously, this is so repetitively said, but people are sick and they're losing loved ones, and it's important for us to do what we can to not spread it. So I'm really happy with my first ever YouTube video, you guys. This is the final look. I'm super excited. I'm really happy with how the look turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, we'll do another one soon. Again, please let me know which team you guys want to see next. I'll probably do a Flames one because, like, it's Calgary. So, but yeah, go Pens go! Obviously, there's no going because there's no sports, there's no nothing, but they live on in my heart forever. Bye, guys! Okay. My mirror just fell down.